Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Technical Beast server. It is FTB time and today I'm going to be starting a new project. I'm going to be building a machine from start to finish. I think I've acquired all of the knowledge I need to build one, and it's going to contribute towards a project which I actually wanted to do a long time before this server really got going. I was looking at different things you could do in Feed the Beast, and I thought industrial TNT mining would be really cool, because if you didn't know, industrial TNT can blow up blocks, but the drops that come from them, it won't blow them up. So let's say I was to blow something up right here, these blocks would explode and they would leave some drops on the ground, and then if I were to blow up another bit of industrial TNT, those drops would survive, not just the ones that come out of the blocks, but the ones that are already there. So if you had a lot of this, went underground and blew a load up, then I thought that it might be a very fast way to actually mine down to bedrock and get yourself tons of diamonds, provided some lava doesn't burn all of the drops. And it's the kind of thing you would have to do in a group as well, because there'd be so many drops from all the cobblestone that you're blowing up that you'd need a few people to go down there and pick up all the items and put them into chests and stuff like that. And so that is the project. It's going to be interesting. It's probably going to be, I don't know, it might be faster than quarrying, but then again, quarrying is an AFK thing, so you can set up a load of them and leave them running in the background. But if it is good, then it might contribute towards getting some more uranium, which is a bottleneck on our advanced solar panels at the moment. And also the industrial TNT has become a bit of a bottleneck in itself, because I don't have a lot of it left. The problem is I made this machine round the back to help me make ITNT, but it's not fully automated. What you do is you put a load of gravel in a chest at the end here, and then it's going to send the gravel through and process it, so it turns it into flint. Then the flint gets turned into flint dust, and it gets auto-crafted into this stuff right here, flint dust. It creates a tiny pile of flint dust, and then it makes a regular one. And so then when we get to this stage here, I craft myself loads of TNT, and I take that dust and I make ITNT, except I haven't been filling up the chest with gravel, sort of been running short here, and what we need to do is replace this machine with something much better. So that's the project that I'm going to be doing today, is creating a industrial TNT machine. So basically we're going to have a setup like round the back here, except I'm going to be using some of the new things that I've learnt recently. So in the previous episode I think I went over and showed you this, but I didn't really explain what was going on. I wanted to save my explanation for like when it was more relevant in an episode, rather than explain it twice. Now this is quite relevant because we're going to be using a similar setup here to help us make industrial TNT, and I'm aware that most of you probably know this is basics, but I'm going to explain them quickly. This is the igneous extruder. You put lava in one side and water in the other, and then it's like a cobblestone generator. So that will never run out and it will never need power. And then it's just going to send the cobblestone into the machine below, which is the pulverizer. Now this produces gravel and sand, and these machines are really cool. I think this is Buildcraft because you can configure the outputs like this, which is very smart. So red goes to the bottom and gravel goes to the back, and the back here you can see our gravel is just getting voided because in this machine it's not even needed. Now this machine right here is for making advanced solar panels. This is just going to help us get loads of silicon cells, although I don't think there's any in the system to show you at the moment. So anyway, this takes the cobblestone and produces sand. The sand gets sent into the pipe at the bottom, and then these things come into play, which are called routers or routers, I do believe. And they're kind of very powerful, and I'm not 100% sure how they work, but Raven's got this setup working. But basically this is going to distribute sand into all of these slots in each of our industrial electrolyzers. And so then we have another one which takes silicon cells out of it. So this one takes from the second slot. In fact, you can see it right there, extract from slot 2. So it's going to take items that appear there, which are the silicon. Actually, I think they appear there, but that's slot 2. I don't know. So it puts the silicon cells in here. We have another one that will take them out. The other output, which is a compressed air cell or something like that. So that goes into the compressor, which then puts the cans back into there, and then this router feeds cans into the industrial electrolyzer. So by that way we basically just produce silicon out of thin air pretty much. With the expense of some power, we have Raven's community biomass power, and also from these solar panels over here they're powering the industrial electrolyzers. So we're going to be using something similar to this, because this top part is going to be useful to us as well. We need both gravel and sand. We're going to be using the rock crusher. I can't remember if I showed you that already. We're going to be using the rock crusher to create gravel, and also this does as well. So we'll be producing lots of gravel and sand, and then we need gunpowder. So to make our industrial TNT machine, we're going to have to insert a little filter up the top here, one of these like this. We're going to put right, I got a little stumbled there. We're going to put gunpowder in this filter, and it's going to go into a tesseract with our own frequency, which is going to send it to our industrial TNT machine. So when we turn on our mob farms, we're going to get gunpowder coming through there, and then we're going to be producing sand and gravel over there already. So everything is kind of done for us. All we need to do is craft it all together, and I'm going to be building a machine which is probably not going to be too compact, although I'm going to try to be logical about it and make it fairly compact, because I don't know, that stuff's fun, isn't it? And when we've got it finished, we'll have ourselves an industrial TNT machine. All you have to do is turn on the mob farm, so you've got lots of gunpowder coming in, and then it's just going to produce you tons and tons of ITNT, which is very cool. So let me just show you the rock crusher, and then I'm going to start building that. So we set this to receive, and we put in some stone in here, and you're going to see it will also make a noise, by the way. Let's see if it's going to... There you go, you heard that. When I first set this up a moment ago, I was just doing some testing to see how it works. I heard that noise, and it reminded me of when we had a nether portal here, and zombie pigmen used to walk out of the nether portal and they'd wander over one of these and it reminded me of that. So I went looking around the area trying to find one of these plates that are jammed or something weird, and it turns out that this machine just likes to make noise. So that is the rock crusher. That's going to be really simple to power. We can get gravel out of this. It also makes flint, which means that I've got to make a diamond pipe somewhere in my setup so that flint gets rerouted in front of the gravel, because we need to macerate that. So it's going to be a really fun project. As I said, the industrial TNT is for its own project where we go mining with it. It's also going to help make what they're called ultimate solar panels, because if you have a look over here, we have tons. In fact, we've got enough for another 2. We also have loads of the correct plates in here. We're just waiting on the industrial TNT at the moment. And where is... I think it's in here. Yeah, this stuff right here. Iridium alloy ingots, they need to be blasted with industrial TNT. So that's why we need to make that machine. And also the industrial electrolyzer setup that we had to make silicon cells. All of that has now been converted into silicon plates, and I think we have enough here to make the rest of our solar panels. If you remember, that's the silicon cell, by the way. We are making an area that's 48 by 48 full of ultimate solar panels over time, but we've got to make the advanced ones first. So yeah, so we've got all the silicon for that, and now what I'm going to do is start constructing that machine. I'll probably give you an update halfway through building it or something like that, just to let you know what I'm thinking and doing, but if not, I'll be back when it's finished. Okay, time for a little progress update. I've started off by getting our base materials into the same place here, and I've just remembered something very important. These can also produce flint. There it is. Now I think because these wooden pipes aren't pulling it out fast enough, that's going to stay there in the second slot. So somewhere along here I need to attach a diamond pipe and reroute that flint somewhere else. We'll probably have a barrel for that to act as a buffer as well. Now a moment ago, all of the gravel was getting thrown out of the pipes everywhere. Well, not all of it, some of it. And what I decided to do was put in this iron pipe here, because I've noticed that when these items get to intersections, they tend to pick a random direction, and that's where I think they go into a pipe they're not supposed to. They get rejected and thrown out of the system. And since I put in the iron pipe, everything has been working fine. So if we have a look at the flow of materials here, you can see there is so much more sand coming through than there is gravel. So we need to increase our gravel input. And by how much I'm not sure. It'd probably actually be a good idea at the moment just to decrease this, but we do want to do things on a large scale here. We have an infinite amount of TNT coming into the system, so if we can generate this with power, then why not go big with this project. So in terms of compactness, I thought we would only need one machine like this, but it looks like we are really going to need a lot of space. So I don't know, I'm probably going to add another 2 machines, maybe 6 in total. So I'm going to think about where I should put those, but I like the way the Tesseract powers both of these, and if you listen to the noise they make, the sound file gets placed twice at once. Now let's just listen. I don't know if you can hear, there's that slight echo, and that's something I'm used to because I used to do a lot of music production and work with audio, so I'm used to hearing two sounds played at the exact same time, and I know that it has this slight echo, and that's just because I placed down the tesseract between both of them to see if it would power both at the same time. So they both started at the same time, which is why it sounds like that. So yeah, I'm going to expand the amount of rock crushers and see if I can get the input to be the same. Okay, another little update. Something that I forgot to mention, we had some, oh, what were they called? The things that turn sand into silicon. Industrial electrolyzers. Yes, we had some of those down here. Now I'm pretty sure the way that you move those machines is to right click on a block with one of these. That just rotates it, and then you can pick it up like that. My inventory is full of cobblestone. Except they wouldn't do that. I couldn't figure it out. I tried lots of different things, and eventually I got bored and I just decided to hit them, and one of them blew up, but it didn't set off a chain reaction, which is what I thought these things do. I'm going to ask the other guys later because they'll probably know the answer to that, but yeah, I found that very strange. So I had to blow up all of my industrial electrolyzers so that I could move on and start doing this. Now, this was fine, and then I saw that there was a load of cobblestone down the bottom here. I picked some of it up, and this no longer works. You see, when I right click with a block, it's just going to place it, and I think because the three of these are touching each other like that on the corners, it means they're not going to work. So if we remove these two blocks here, does this now work? Oh, maybe it was something else. Perhaps we have to replace one of the blocks to sort of activate it again. That could be it, because the other two around the corner didn't work either. There we go, that one's working. So this one here doesn't work. You can see I right click and it places a block. So why don't we remove two? It's no longer connected or touching that one there. Place them back. Aha, okay, so if we remove these two and that one. Yes, okay, so they can't touch on the corners, which means we're going to have to move the position of this one, and I still feel like perhaps we need more of these. So if I put another one on this side and another one on that side, then we can just expand this design in that direction indefinitely. And I pictured this thing being so much more compact in my mind. But once we've built this, I can look at the layout of all the machines. Maybe some of the other guys know some useful tricks, like I probably could have put these closer together and then put the pipes underneath them. That's another way of saving space. You put it into a different dimension. So yeah, this is just the basic machine to get us going, so I'm going to do that, and then the next thing I'll be working on is processing these. At the moment here I have a void pipe to send flint to, because it was all getting backed up here. You can see there's loads of it caught in the pipe there. But then the flint will get redirected into the macerator at the correct point. So I'm going to do all of that, and next time when I come back the machine should be finished. Okay, let's go and take a look, and I've got to be honest, I don't think this is that impressive. It turned out so much different to what I thought it was. When I started building I was kind of like trying to picture out where to put things, and then after a while I realised that it's just going to be a mess. Something's just going to have to go somewhere, and so it's not all compacted into a tiny area, but that's pretty predictable, I think, because at the moment I'm not really used to this stuff, and when you first use redstone, you know, you put down wires going all over the place and you learn little tricks and stuff as you go along. But I think I've done a good job with this bit here. This is fairly compact. What I would have liked to have done is put the redstone engines underneath, and there's so much stuff that I'm not so sure about. For example, I think having the engines that are powered by what's it called, voltage, like this stuff over here, I'm pretty sure, and do you know what, this is stealing some of my energy. Maybe it's not, it's on speed 0. Anyway, I think they extract items out faster than redstone engines do, which could speed up the amount that we can produce things at, because that's the thing that I'm mainly worried about at the moment, is that I don't really understand the rate at which items are coming out with, but maybe some of the others on the server do know, which would be great information to have, because then I could calculate how much sand was coming into the system compared to how much gravel. So I'm sure one of them will know. In fact, it's probably on a wiki somewhere. I just don't really know where to look, but if we can find the rate of gravel that we can produce per, I don't know, second or whatever, we can calculate how much exactly we need to go through all of this. So anyway, let's have a look. At the moment production of this is slow. You can see this is filling up. Its speed gets slightly higher, but then it drops down again every so often, which is kind of annoying. I do have a load of overclockers. My plan was to make these faster than the redstone engines can pull items in. So then they get sent round here. I had to put this pipe going down here because it kept connecting to other machines and causing problems. Like when it connects to a redstone pipe, and when this is powered, that's the end that I'm pointing at there, that it takes the item out of. Now you can only set it up so that the other outputs, if it's connected to two things, are the clear ones, meaning that the item can go back into this bit here, which didn't really help my cause, and now items are being spat out of this because it's full up all the time. Let's just hold on to those so that doesn't happen. As that speeds up, or I put an overclocker into it, hopefully that will sort that out. Same thing going on here. I think this is starting to back up. Again, we need more power, or we need to put in an overclocker. That's now up to full speed. But then again, we're throttled by this here, so when that speeds up, then we'll be able to tell. So I need to calculate all that kind of stuff. So at the moment, the flint dust has made its way around to here. And then we have, right, this is our item tesseract for gunpowder, so it's going to put it in there. There should already be sand in this side, and you can see, no, I had to move the auto crafting table, so that's why there's nothing in there. So we should go turn on the farm, except I have no idea how to turn it on, actually, now that I think about it. Let's think for a second. I don't know, I haven't seen any controls for the farm inside the processing plant. So let's fly off in this direction because that's where it is. Just somewhere over here. There it is. Maybe there's a hint as to what turns it on up here. It's still a lever. Okay, is there any other clever wireless redstone or anything? Nope. That's how we turn on our farm. Okay, so there go all of the different materials, well, mobs that are going to be turned into materials. It's the creeper that we're interested in because that has gunpowder. So those void pipes should start sending all the gunpowder into our system. Hopefully we'll be able to catch that. Now, I couldn't find any filters, and it had some things in the recipe that I didn't really know, so I didn't craft any. So I just used this one here. This was for bone meal. See, I've numbered mine. Now I've made that for gunpowder. It's going to send it. Let's check. Yes, it's on 18. It's on send. So can we see any gunpowder? Well, there's glowstone. So I'm sure there's going to be some gunpowder in there. There's sticks. And, oh, I thought that was gunpowder. Well, it's going to be on its way through. So I guess I'll wait around until it's made its way into the system. I was starting to get worried there. I hadn't seen gunpowder for a while. I was trying to investigate to see if it got taken anywhere else, but it doesn't. And wait a minute, where are you going? It went right past. Did it really just do that? So that goes into the sorting system. Why does that not work? If I look at this, this thing's got like a red mark on it. Can we change that? Oh no. Okay, well this filter here is working. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to swap these over temporarily. So let's set this one up for gunpowder. There we go. And we'll put the apples in this one over here just for now. Set that one to apple. I have no idea what that red thing does or how to change it. No one else is around at the moment either to ask questions. So I had a bunch of problems with the power. I'll show you. I'll fly over there now and show you the power. I forget what it's all called. There's so much information to digest, it's just going to take me forever to learn. The power that goes through this stuff here. Now, I was trying to get this to work for ages. It kept blowing up my rotary macerators, and after a while I realised that the 3 dots needed to be on the back and not the front, and I don't know why. I can never seem to remember which way round they go. Anyway, you can see there's loads of gravel getting spat out of the system because it's not running efficiently enough yet. And this thing is going to produce ITNT at a very slow rate. And what is going on here? So gunpowder is set there. It should go into that chest. That's what they do by default. They put them into the nearest thing. Something's going wrong here. I'm going to go up and investigate. Well, this is very strange. There are no mob drops coming through at the moment, and also if we look down here, this is no longer red. I haven't changed anything. Apples, gunpowder. Now, I have a theory that the chunks aren't loaded, which might be why they've stopped coming through. But I'm going to fly back over there and see if there's a chunk loader. Well, I don't understand it. This took in a little bit of gunpowder. I'm sure I saw it going, and then it turned red, which is possibly what this done before. If it turned red, it must have taken some gunpowder in. But we didn't see gunpowder at the other side, so I don't know what on earth's going on there. This is in send mode. Maybe it's supposed to be in receive. No, that's for receiving items. I'm getting real confused now. No, it's supposed to be in send, I'm sure of it, because receive means the items will come through it, and send means it sends them out. Okay, right. If that's not going to work, then I'm just going to grab some gunpowder and see how fast this thing produces ITNT. Well, I do not know what was going on with the gunpowder there, so I brought some over myself. In fact, I have some more to put in here. And I was just looking at how the macerators were working, putting in some more overclockers, trying to get them to produce faster, produce the flint fast enough so that when it comes in it doesn't fly out everywhere, which is what was happening with this flint here. And then I realised that it of course was the speed of the redstone engine that was slowing all of this down, so we've upgraded that to an electrical engine. And yeah, I'm starting to see like a whole other aspect to this setup that we have here, that we can really speed things up like this. So what I really need to calculate is how much gravel we can produce, and with the power that we have available, how much, or at least that I can produce it quick enough or faster than it's coming in, and then we can use the coming in speed to throttle the quantity that we need, and then we'd have to compare the two obviously, because we're going to need different amounts of gravel compared to what we do of sand. So when I get to speak to the others, that's what I'm going to be doing next. And Feed the Beast is really time consuming to record. With vanilla it's like I get my things together and I go, I do something, I record, and then it's done. With this there's just all this unexpected time where you're learning and doing extra things. It's really fun, but the time consuming part is annoying as well, because I know that I have to put out an episode at some point for you guys. So what I'm doing now is going to basically be waiting around for the others to turn up, and hopefully it means I can put something extra on the end of this episode. Maybe we can work together on this project and improve it, but at the moment it is producing ITNT, which is fantastic. Unfortunately I can't get that gunpowder thing to work. If I can, it means I can put down a chunk loader here and just let this thing do its business. So let's have a look at how much sand is in there. Okay, sand seems to be the bottleneck at the moment. This has plenty of gunpowder in it, so it's the rate that sand is getting put into this that is slowing down the production of TNT. So we need to upgrade this engine right here as well, and I can branch that off of that, which is cool, but you can see already that I need a better infrastructure for this layout. We need to be able to power everything with electrical engines from underneath like this, and then they power the rotary macerators as well. This thing is going down slowly, and when this is all gone and it's just relying on the flint coming in into this bit here, we'll be able to find the point where this goes all the way down to 1, so literally it comes in and it macerates it faster than it comes in, and that's how we control the overclockers. This has been a really fun project for me. I would really appreciate if you guys would let me know the sort of stuff that I'm doing, if it's interesting or not, because I know I'm like late to FTB and getting into all of this, and I'm kind of worried that you guys would have already seen these projects and it wouldn't be interesting. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to wait around for the others. Hopefully they'll turn up and we can make some improvements to this. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You have no idea how long I've been trying to sort this out. Trying different amounts of items in there. I was reading that apparently you can filter out the amount of items as well. Reconfiguring these, it turned out the other one at the other end was on send only as well, which is a little bit silly. So I was like, what's different with this one to all the others? And then I saw it, it's the wrong way around. So after all of that, wasting time playing around, what I need to do is face it down so it faces, oh, not like that, but into the Tesseract, which I think we can do. No, I don't think there's a tool for that actually. Well, I'm going to disable that one for now. And here's the thing though, didn't this have... Yeah, this was the original one that I was using and that didn't work either. That is very strange. Anyway, let's put gunpowder on there and send that not to apples but to gunpowder. I have to let Ravens know that the apples one is down at the moment. And I put the chunk loader back on the mob spawner area, and it seems like unless I go over there myself it's not actually working because there's no more gunpowder coming through, which is very strange. So I'm going to test that for a while, see what happens, and then if nothing comes through I'll go over there AFK and see how much has gone through the system. Anyway, this time it should work because that is the right way around. Yes, there we go, excellent. Okay, very nice. Right, so what I'm going to do, as it seems that there's no more gunpowder coming from the mob farm, I'm going to chuck a load from this barrel up here into the system and then see if it makes its way over to the industrial TNT farm. Okay guys, Ravens is with me right now.
Hi guys.
And he has solved the mystery for us, both mysteries actually. So first of all, it does seem that you need to be in the chunks where the mob spawner is. Even though these chunks are loaded, if a player's not here, they're not going to spawn. So bad design with this, really. We should have put this closer to where the players are going to be more often, but that means if I want to produce ITNT, I can just AFK over here. So mystery number 2 was the filter problem, and Ravens has solved it for us, but what I have to point out is that it worked already the way I was trying to do it. So you saw in the previous video that the flower farm setup worked. If I just fly over here, you can see the Tesseract is directly next to a chest. And then over here, Raven solved this for us. What was it we put next to the chest this time?
It's a normal relay we put there, and
Yes.
sometimes there seems to be problems with output and input from and into a Tesseract to the red power machines. Yeah.
So for whatever reason, I got it right that time, but this time it didn't like it. So we had to put this relay here, and this means that the items could come through. So when we're having the problem up the top, it's because the Tesseract at the other end had nowhere to put the items. So now it puts them into this chest. You can see it's full up with gunpowder, and we are producing ITNT at a fast rate now. So what comes next really for this machine is me calculating everything, which is what I'm going to be doing between this episode and the next. I'm going to be calculating all the different rates that things are produced at, so we can balance things and get this thing producing really fast. And I'm sure Ravens is going to be able to help me with that, because you can see,
yeah, sure,
yeah, there's probably some things I can improve here. But anyway guys, thank you for watching. If you want to put a like on this video, it is really appreciated, and I will see you in the next episode.
See you.